Welcome back to this week's episode of the podcast. Today, I am sharing a powerful exercise that was introduced to me a while back by a guy called Nick Peterson. This exercise is going to help you uncover money inside your business that you didn't even know was there. Are you ready? Let's dive in. As business owners, we put a lot of energy into signing that next client, and there is always some cost involved, right? Whether it's money or time. Getting clients requires us to go out and do something. You need to put in the effort to bring them into your world. And even if you gained clients through, say, referrals, you still had to provide those clients who referred you an amazing service. Otherwise, they wouldn't refer you to their friends. Am I right? So we're constantly focused on driving that next sale. And rightly so. If we want to stay in business, we have to find customers. We need to generate revenue. But here's what we don't always think about. How much money is quietly slipping through the cracks? Money that's leaking out of your business without you even noticing. What if, instead of only focusing on bringing in new clients, we started by plugging those leaks? That's what this exercise is all about. Recapturing the money that's escaping or leaking out and putting it to better use. Now, the first time you do this exercise, you might be surprised to find thousands of rands hidden in your business. Now, as you do it more regularly, the amount may be smaller, but it's still a crucial habit to build. And here's why. Running a business involves risk. You have the risk of spending money on marketing and not seeing a return on that investment. There is always a chance that a customer might ask for a refund, or you'll spend resources and energy on products and services that don't sell. If you deliver a poor service, you risk a bad review that negatively impacts your brand reputation. Now, while risk is a normal part of running a business, we want to reduce and manage the risk we do take on as much as possible. And one of the ways in which we can easily reduce risk is by keeping our expenses as low as possible without sacrificing the quality of our services. Now, the recapture exercise I'm going to share with you today is all about managing what you have better, putting the money that is already there to a better use. Now, the leaner we can keep our spending, the more cash we'll have available, which allows us to absorb or reduce the impact of other risks. Now, we want to make sure that we're spending money on things that actually generate a return for the business. Unless you have a strong recurring revenue stream coming into your business, for most of us, our revenue isn't always stable, right? It's fluctuating. It doesn't go up in a straight line either. Some months we have more sales coming in and other months we have less. So growth isn't linear. If we don't manage our risk as we grow, we can quickly get ourselves into a position where the amount of risk we've taken on far outpaces the growth that we've made, which means that it only takes one blow for the house of cards to tumble. Now, these days, almost every software or platform you use today has a monthly subscription option, a pro version that gives you access to features that aren't available on the free version. It's way easier for us to just pay the 100 Rand per month for the extra Google storage than it is to, say, spend some time sorting out the files. So sometimes we sign up for a trial, we put in our card details, and then we forget to cancel. And then we're hit with an annual subscription charge a year later. Now, we've all signed up for things we ended up never using. And while I'm not suggesting that you give up on any automation or tools that truly saves you time inside of your business, we do want to be smart about it, right? So let's get into the recapture exercise, and remember to stay tuned to find out exactly how much money I recaptured inside of my own business. So here's step one. You want to print out 12 months of your bank statements. We don't just want to look at the last 3 to 6 months because we don't want to miss those annual subscriptions we may have forgotten about. Step two, go through your expenses month by month and identify any recurring expenses. You can capture them in a separate Excel or a Google Sheet if you want to, but you want to identify them. And in step three, you want to look at each recurring expense and then ask yourself, does this actually bring a return to my business? If the answer is no, or even a hesitant maybe. It's time to reassess whether it's truly necessary. And step 4, stop or cancel anything that doesn't bring a return. This is probably the most uncomfortable part of this entire exercise, and this is where you want to be okay with feeling the discomfort. If down the road you realize that, hey, I do actually need this thing that I canceled, you can always bring it back in, right? But 9 times out of 10, you won't. Remember, it's way harder for us to opt out of things than it is to opt in. And if we spend money on it, it's even harder. We place more value on things when we've paid for it. And when I did this exercise in my own business, I found 140,000 Rand just leaking out. Money that wasn't giving me any return. Now, imagine you have a 50% profit margin, right? That's the equivalent of making 280,000 Rand in sales. And these were recurring expenses in my case, right? So that's 140,000 Rand per year that would have been wasted year after year. Imagine what you could do with an extra $250,000 just by plugging the leaks inside of your business. And here's the thing that was really a shocker and an eye-opener for me as I did this exercise. I was so focused on getting more clients, but this exercise showed me that chasing new sales while allowing money to leak out is literally the definition of inefficiency. It's like filling a bucket with water while there is a massive hole in the bottom. Sure, you can keep adding water, but wouldn't it be easier to just fix the hole first? Now, by plugging these leaks, I managed my risk. I didn't need to go after new clients to find that 280,000 Rand. I just plugged the hole. So now, when I do bring in more clients, I'm doing it from a position that is more secure and has less risk involved. So here's what I want you to do. Set aside some time to do this recapture exercise for your own business. Go through your expenses, cut the ones that aren't serving you, and see how much money you can recapture and ultimately reallocate to something that's more useful, right? And then do this regularly and get into the habit of keeping things lean inside of your business. And also, I'd love to hear from you. So find me on Facebook or Instagram, do this exercise, and let me know how much money you found. You might be amazed at what's been hiding in your business all along. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I will see you again next week.